Hi, hello, my name's Beth. I'm an avid reader and an aspiring author, and today I'm going to be talking about book tropes and what my opinions are on them. But before we get into that, I just want to say a couple of things, I suppose. The first one being, I'm trying something new in this lighting. If I go back here, it's fine, but if I sit here, I look like the Phantom of the Opera. So, I'm not sure if this is going to stick around for very long. But, you know, I talk about books, so I should at least have books in one of the videos, right? I suppose. Secondly, thank you for your support. It has been overwhelming so far, and I'm happy that you found me on my little corner of the internet, and I quite like it here. And thirdly, I've created a Ko-fi. I'll put the links down below. Obviously, there is no obligation to support me at all, but if you want to support someone trying to find their footing in the world, then there's that. And it's like, I think it's a £3 thing. It's not very much. Also, I bought a new jumper and it's fantastic. It says so many books, so little time, and I love it. And it's definitely going to become my new reading jumper because it's going to be perfect for curling up in this chair and just reading, which is what I'm going to do once I've filmed this. That's a good cup of tea. So the first book trope I want to talk about is the love at first sight trope, or insta-love. Now, I can't wrap my head around this trope. Like, obviously, yeah, people are attracted at first sight, and I've put that in the book that I'm personally writing because it makes sense. Like, straight away, when you look at someone, you can tell whether you're attracted to them or not, kind of thing, as in physically. And then once you have a conversation, you can usually start to gauge personalities. But, like, the love at first sight, like, you're not going to instantly fall in love with someone straight away, which just makes no sense to me. Like, I'd rather just have, I suppose would people call it slow burn in literature? Like, I'd rather see someone, like, have the relationship develop, like, kind of oh, I don't know you, oh, we're friends now, oh, we're in a relationship. Like, I'd much rather have that than just, I've just seen you, now we're in love. Like, it just feels weird. And along the same lines is when, like, the forced marriages or arranged marriages, and then it's suddenly like, oh, but we're in love. It's like, but it's an arranged marriage. Yeah, sometimes there is historical evidence that they did work out. Most of the time they did not. Most of the time it was miserable, and they just had to get on with it. But what can you do? Sticking on the theme of love, the next trope, enemies to lovers. Now, this is having some sort of weird renaissance because of TikTok and YouTube, and everyone seems to love it. And I cannot write. Oh, I really like Phantom of the Opera. I apologise for the changing light. Might have to work this out better. Yeah, it's having this weird renaissance, but I can't get my head around it because, like, usually enemies, unless, like, there is a massive redemption arc throughout the book, like, as in this person is, like, fully on the redemption arc storyline and the romance just happens to be secondary, then fine. But sometimes the enemies to the lovers is the main pushing forward storyline, and it makes no sense to me because usually if they're enemies, they have such different views on the world and morality that there is no way that they should work as a relationship, and yet people love it, and I don't understand it. But I can't get my head around it. The next one, this is one I actually like. I'm not going to waffle on about tropes I don't like for the entire time. well. I like it if it's done well, and that's the sending the cavalry trope. And that is like when the heroes is coming towards the final battle, they're having just a massive like hardship time. Everything seems downtrodden. It seems like they're going to fail, and then suddenly in comes the cavalry, in comes like all their allies, or like and it's just it's so good. But I only like it if it's done well, because sometimes it's like, oh, now the cavalry's here. Ugh. Like if those like throughout the book or the series, those alliances have been so well like built up and like I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Developed, and so well developed that it just it's like the feeling in Endgame when you hear the on your left and they all come through, all the Avengers. That, but in a book, it fills me with joy, and I love it so much. And I know a lot of people hate the sending the cavalry, and sometimes I do wish the hero would just fail, just because it would be a nice change. But I do like the sending the cavalry. It's so good. So good. I apologise for the fact I keep yawning. I don't know why. I'm not tired. I don't think. Burnt out maybe, but not tired. Love triangles. I'm just going to sit back here because it's comfier. And I might have less issues with the light. Love triangles. What was I going to say about love triangles? I'm not sure how I feel about love triangles, because in a lot of books the love triangles end up being two people, like two females, one male. The females like just don't hate each other, they just glare at each other throughout the book, and that's really annoying, because real life, every love triangle I have seen go down has not ended that way. It has ended in one of two ways. One of three ways. Either neither person gets the person they're after, or there's a massive bitch fight, and that's incredible to watch it all go down. Or it ends up in something a little bit more adult, of threesomes. And books never touch on that. Why do they never touch on real life things that happen? And okay, I make that last one sound like it's a lot more common than it is, but I would just like for something like that to go down in a book for once, rather than just, oh, I don't like her because he's after the same man as me, and it's always after the same man usually. Or it's like this really sexy woman with two buff guys after them, and it's just like, okay, sometimes I like it for a bit of a steamy romance, but most of the time it can get in the bin, because it just frustrates me. It just frustrates me. This is probably the boringest video ever of just me waffling on about tropes. The chosen one tropes, I love it. I love it. I can't help it. I like it though when the chosen one doesn't know that they're the chosen one, and they find out gradually throughout the story, and then they're like, oh shit, I've got a big part to play in this, but I've messed up quite a lot so far. That's what I really like. That's the good kush. Forbidden Love. Forbidden Love for me now just all feels like retellings of Romeo and Juliet. I can't help it. It all just feels that way. And it just annoys me. Just annoys me. And half the time Forbidden Love ends out fine, and the families are pulled together and all fluffy rosiness and just... And the lucky novice. I don't like the lucky novice trope. I like the novice trope. I like that they have to go through and like train, work things out as they go along. But the lucky novice annoys me because it just portrays that they can do everything straight away. Like, what kind of godly person is that can do everything straight away? It just, like, it just feels like lazy writing because they haven't put the effort in to flesh out the fact that they have to go through trials and tribulations and get beaten down. But like when the novice and like the whoever it is gets beaten down and then they bounce back and come out on top, oh, I love that. But like when the lucky novice just happens to get everything right first time, it's just poor writing. It's just poor writing. I'd rather have the hero go through like hell and back and then struggle to get on top, like struggle to get to the top, rather than just have them be like, oh, everything's wonderful. So those are my opinions on some tropes. If there's any more you want me to rant about, leave them down below, because I'm an opinionated person, apparently, and I could talk about my opinions all day, every day. And if you have different opinions and you want to try and change my mind, leave me a comment, because that would be interesting to see. And like, if you like something like the lovers to, especially lovers to enemies, nope. Lovers to enemies is great. Enemies to lovers, if that trope is like one of your favourites, leave a comment down below telling me why, because I can't wrap my head around it at all. But different strokes for different folks. So I hope that you have a lovely day. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.